and the Bhopal disaster is by no means, yes,
and it's
exactly.
still going on, it's still going
Absolutely, the companies never took responsibility. You asked about, trusting in that respect, they're just words, as you say. And I don't want to make light of that, they are just words. Words
Many people are trusting Tamboran in America at the moment.
Well, we're not an American operator on purpose.
Isn't it true that two of your
expensive.
previous companies, though, have injunctions against them for pollution that you worked for?
I worked for Southwestern Energy.
And Devon?
Well, yeah, I worked for
Tell
Devon
everybody
for
there
about
that they
9
were
weeks in
asking great
2001 in Canada.
I notice it's not
They
on your
didn't
CV,
even-
though.
That's true. I didn't really want them to know I worked there 9 weeks. They kind of bugged me. Big companies are hard. I'm sorry if I sound humorous. Because I know you all take this very seriously.
Condescending would be a better word.
My apologies. I'm a very light person, and
This is not a light. This is not.
no,
Really, really serious.
it is a very serious subject.
What was
You're
your
going to
big
fuck
Cheshire?
up our country.
What was your big
No.
laugh for
Yes,
the
you
start
are.
of prime time? What were you laughing at before he asked you?
Well, I wasn't actually laughing at anything.
You're laughing all the time.
spent the whole
sniggering.
No, I was smiling.
No, you
I'm
were
sorry
you were
that
sneering.
some of you saw
What were you
that.
smiling at?
From ear to ear.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it came across that way. I was in a Calgary studio in CBC. You can't see any of the program, right? They only give you a little link, and the camera person, she said, most people get kind of shocked, or they look away and get bored because they forget they're on camera all the time. So she said, just look and smile, because then you don't know when you're on. And so I just sat there and smiled. Sorry.
The way we see it is it's a bit like the IMF EU bailout. It's the ordinary people who end up picking up,
Damn
cleaning up
right.
the mess.
Yeah.
When big companies are gone with their money, you can move away, you go back to where you live. All the other people who've made the money, they'll go off somewhere else, build a home in Spain or somewhere else. But it's the people around here who will end up cleaning up the mess.
All the trucks that roll around.
And everything
Well,
else. So
if I may, I encourage
really,
you.
we don't need your money. We don't need ye. We just want you out of here.
Yeah,
That's what we
here.
want. Want you out of here.
I hear your comments.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
No, I hear
One
those.
way or another.
And
But I want you to say one
I
last
would
thing
ask
to you.
you to recognize that I hear a lot of comments from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know you all feel very strongly about this, and you have that right. We also talk to very many people. We also get very many emails from people who do not share the extremity of your concerns.
Our concerns aren't extreme.
No. Some of them view them that way. They do view them that way.
So
They're not in.
you're just after saying to people the extremity of their
Extremity.
concerns. Can you explain that comment?
Yes, there are people who
You're saying the
email
people
us.
here are extremity of their concerns.
No, there are people who email us who do
No, but you
not
said
share
the people
that.
here don't share the extremity of your concerns.
That's
what
right.
you said.
Some of you are very concerned about.
You said
wa-
we're extremists here today.
No, the
Yes, you did. Didn't he say that?
Then I
Yes, you did.
apologize for my Canadian if it's worth anything.
But you said we're
But
extremists.
no, you have extreme concerns about water, yes? You have extreme concerns about the air being.
About our life.
Yours,
It's life and death issue.
yes, those are extremely important issues. You're very concerned by those. There are other people who are not. And you have to work that out with them, but that is not our role here. On Wednesday, we will share the project. You're all very welcome to come and do as you're doing here. Yeah, so that the people in that audience can hear you. It is a community issue. We came into the meeting at their request tonight, as we have with all regulators and all councils and planners so far, at their request.
The planning knows nothing about it,
Planning here, well, we worked with them several times.
but the planning I found this morning know nothing about it. And we've been lied to already. This has been done beyond.
Well, no,
our
Jackie
knowledge.
McGuire has been very involved in everything here. Thank you. She arranged this meeting for us. We have a note from June 28th with all the minutes of our meeting, and that has been shared with some of the leaders of your group. So it is out there. We had a dozen planners in that meeting. So I'm sorry if you're not hearing that, but we have the minutes of that, and it'll be on our website to your need there.
You never answered my question about the
Yes,
injunctions against your previous
Yes,
companies
well,
for pollution.
we wandered a bit.
Yeah, we did.
Speak for yourself.
Let me be as blunt as I can about that. Southwestern faces something in the order of 3 or 4 lawsuits right now. I think a couple of them are class action or wish to be anyways. You know, what you've got is one case in the center of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Now, Southwestern has drilled 2,500 wells in Arkansas. And as best as anybody can see, there are 2 of them that have failed. Now, by American standards, a little collateral damage is the way they do business. You would not accept that, right?
No.
Yeah. And I accept your opinion on
Leitrim's
that.
a lot smaller than America. A little collateral damage in Leitrim is a lot of collateral damage.
And there's no business and operator letting that happen when there are completely preventable techniques to do that. Southwestern does not employ them any more than the majority of U.S. oil and gas companies do.
So if you work for them, why should we believe that you're going to come here and employ different methods than your previous experience?
Well, I don't.
Like you say, you have all this experience in fracking, but all your experience has been with companies that have been doing it the way that they're doing it.
Well, they all do, yes. I'm actually
So
not an
how should we believe
operations
you're
person
different?
with that. Well, again, this may sound really funny to you. I don't ask for your trust. I don't ask for you to believe me. I ask you to come on Wednesday, hear what the project really looks like, because it will be different than the amalgamation of projects you might have seen in Gasland. Gasland raises
There's
some...
other things besides Gasland. We're not all completely sort of blinded by Gasland.
I accept
There's
that.
lots of other information out there. Very
Yes.
good information.
Well, there's only been one shale gas drill in Australia, so I'm
So does
afraid
that
you
mean then,
can't
Mr.
get
Moorman, your
some.
new method will be a new method and we'll be the guinea pigs then?
I don't accept that word because in the Marcellus Shale in the
Is it
United
tried
States,
and tested?
I would tell you it is. I would tell you it is because in the Marcellus Shale, well, if I may, because you do, I assume you want to hear, some of you, in the Marcellus Shale, for example, the Range Resources Company uses 0.14% chemicals. That's it. They use a very minimal amount of that.
Still chemicals.
It is
A lot
chemicals.
of chemicals when you're talking billions of gallons of water.
Millions per well,
Yeah.
exactly. No mistake. But the point I would like to make for you, and I don't ask for your trust, I just tell you the fact as it stands. 99.86% water and sand is the same as 100% water and sand when it comes to the rock cracking. Those chemicals they use are things like a biocide. That kills any bacteria that's in the water. Well, if you're an American company sucking water out of somebody's lake, guess what? There's bacteria in it. They have to use a biocide. We're going to have a water cleaning facility on site, so we won't have to use any of that.
Where's all the water coming from? Where's all the water coming from?
Are you going to put gel in? If you put
Where's
any
the
kind of
water
vegetable
coming
gel.
from?
Sorry, I appreciate all the questions. If I just quickly close the chemical side. Some of the other chemicals you'll hear about are a friction reducer. That's simply because whenever you inject a large amount of water down a pipe about that big, 6 inches, let's say, for a long distance, you're going to get a lot of friction, and the pumps then have to work harder.
So you would consider a vegetable gel a chemical?
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Our wells get water and sand.
Right.
Yeah, if they don't work with water and sand, then we don't have a project.
So having invested millions of euro in setting up, you'll just write it off and walk away.
Yes, because, and I, again,
investors will allow you to do that?
no, they won't have any choice. Again, I don't ask you to trust, I simply tell you the fact as I can put it to you. There's a lot of, yes, I will. The chairman knows it intimately. He has signed the Declaration of Zero Chemicals, so they know. I am so sure, like there's no question of this technically, that water cracks rock. That if 100% water and sand doesn't crack it, no amount of chemicals would change that. They don't unlock the rock. They don't do anything to the rock. They do things to the water, to the pressure, to the bacteria.
And the propellants to hold the cracks open.
The propellant exactly is a sand. Approximately 5%, we don't know in our own case what we'll need, but 5% is a good rule of thumb, but approximately 5% of what's put in with the water is a very light sand, lighter than you'd see in a sandbox, for example, because it has to be carried by the water. You mentioned gels. That's a totally different style of frack, and it is used in parts of the United States, but not very often in
Because you need the
this.
biocides to keep the gels from rotting.
Well, It's really complicated.
Yeah.
But the fact is the gels are like a Jell-O. Think of how much sand a Jell-O could hold.
Yeah.
That's why you want to use gel. In our case, we use a stream of water like you would dip your hands in, and there'd be small sand particles floating in it. That's the equivalent kind of injection that we make. And so that's why, as I say to you with utter confidence, if 100% sand and water doesn't work, nothing will. There'll be nobody coming back saying, oh yeah, just add some chemicals.
I worked in construction industry for